Linus Torvalds nació en Helsinki, capital de Finlandia, el 28 de diciembre de 1969. Con tan solo 11 años, comenzó a interesarse por los ordenadores, cuando su abuelo le pidió ayuda para usar uno de los primeros Commodore que había comprado recientemente. En 1988 fue admitido en la Universidad de Helsinki, donde cursó el Máster de Ciencias de la Computación. Durante su etapa como estudiante, Linus adquirió un PC 386 por $3.500, que utilizó para acceder a la red de su universidad. Sin embargo, el sistema operativo Minix con el que trabajaba no le gustaba, y decidió crear uno él mismo. De forma privada llamó a este nuevo sistema Linux, pero cuando realizó una presentación en público lo hizo con el nombre de Freaks. El 17 de septiembre de 1991 sube al servidor de FTP, proporcionado por su universidad, la versión 0.01 de Linux, con 10.000 líneas de código. A partir de ese momento, Linux empezó a evolucionar rápidamente. En enero de 1992 se adoptó la licencia pública general para Linux, lo que permite su modificación, redistribución, copia y uso ilimitado por cualquier persona. Este modelo de licencia facilita el desarrollo de Bazar, que ha dado una estabilidad y funcionalidad sin precedentes a este sistema operativo.
¿Qué opina del creciente apoyo comercial que ha obtenido Linux en estos 2 últimos años?
I don't actually personally see a lot of that because I try to keep myself distanced not just from the vendors but also commercial users. It's one of the things I'm really happy about, that there are commercial vendors who take care of users. It's not the thing I do. I hate having to work with users directly. So this way I can concentrate on the technology and the vendors do the support that I would be horrible at.
¿Qué va a pasar con Linux?
Well, I mean, it's mature in the sense that I've been doing this for over 15 years, but at the same time we've always had new issues. So I've been saying for the last 10 years or something that next year there's not going to be anything new to do, that all the excitement happens in the user space, and it's been true to some degree that a lot of the stuff that people do are projects like OpenOffice and Firefox and things that I don't have anything to do with and the kernel doesn't even care about. But at the same time, we've always had new issues. Hardware keeps changing, people's ways of using their computer keeps changing. So it's not really mature in that sense, because the part of it has matured, but there's always new things that grow up on top of it.
¿Qué ocurrirá con Linux en los PCs de sobremesa?
It's one of the areas that is the hardest one by far, because it actually depends so much on both the hardware that keeps changing very much and users just change what they do. So that's Linux on the desktop thing. A lot of the things we've done over the last years has been supporting gracefully, for example, something as simple as plugging in a camera into the computer, and you want the user experience to be that it not only notices that the camera is there, but it brings up all the applications automatically, and all these different things have to talk to each other, really. And so that's one of the things that I think we've done a lot of work on, and now it's largely out of the kernel's hands, and the vendors end up supporting the desktop experience a lot more. I think the desktop issue has been and will continue to be, a lot of the problems is just the inherent inertia of users who are used to whatever they are using, whether it be Macs or Windows, and overcoming that inertia. It's not about this year, right? We'll make more strides towards it, but I'm not going to say it's going to be this year. It's true that at the same time I don't actually think that something like Vista will change how people work that much. I think it's to some degree being overhyped as being something completely new, and I don't actually think it is. I think there's a new, the interfaces may look different, but it doesn't really change fundamentals in many ways. One of the things we'll probably notice is the hardware requirements for Vista are obviously much higher than for previous OSs, and that could end up helping Linux just because people notice that you can run Linux on machines and have it work very well, even if the same machine couldn't run Vista at all. Well, I actually think in many ways the exciting places are often in the specialized embedded world. Here at the conference they were showing off the OLPC, and what happened last year, for example, was a lot of cell phones are starting to use Linux. The desktop market in many ways is fairly well defined. People know what they want to do with a desktop. You want to have your word processing, you want to have some eye candy, you want to have the 3D graphical stuff. And we know that, and Linux handles that very well. And in many ways, that's just the thing of we need to continue to support it and slowly get more and more people used to Linux. And that's going to take some time. In many ways, the exciting revolutionary things tends to happen elsewhere than in the desktop.
En 1997, Torvalds finaliza los estudios superiores en la Universidad de Helsinki, tras una década como estudiante e investigador, coordinando el desarrollo del núcleo del sistema operativo desde 1992. Desde 1997 hasta 2003 trabajó en Transmeta. Actualmente trabaja para el Open Source Development Labs en Beaverton, Oregón. Aunque solo el 2% del código de Linux actual está escrito por él, en su persona descansa la paternidad de este núcleo del sistema operativo. Actualmente, Linus Torvalds es responsable de la coordinación del proyecto Linux y supervisa el uso de la marca a través de la organización sin ánimo de lucro Linux International.